Hi there, this is Matt with State of Flux here with another 52-week movie challenge. Everyone's a critic. This week's challenge, a film about an actual composer, musician, band, or group. The movie I chose, Bubba Ho-Tep. Year release 2003, aspect ratio 1851, runtime 1 hour 32 minutes, genre horror dramedy, I guess. Rated R, starring Bruce Campbell, Ozzie Davis, Ella Joyce, Heidi Marnhout, and Bob Ivy, directed by Don Coscarelli, produced by MGM, written by Don Coscarelli from a short story by Joe R. Lansdale, music by Brian Tyler, who does fantastic in this film. He does a lot of heavy lifting with his music. Awards received, this won the Bram Stoker Award for Best Screenplay, as well as the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards for Best Actor Bruce Campbell and Best Limited Release Film, with nominations for Ozzie Davis and the screenplay as well. Why did I choose this particular film? I wanted to see Elvis, the Baz Luhrmann film, and I couldn't find it free streaming anywhere to me, and Redbox didn't have it. So I was like, I know of another Elvis film, and popped this one right on in. Have I seen this film before? Yes, I actually got to see this film in theaters during its short theatrical run. 2 years prior, in 2002, I saw Bruce Campbell live presenting The Evil Dead. And so, after we watched the original Evil Dead, he came out and did a 2-hour Q&A with the audience. And it was fantastic to watch, but he had just come off of filming Bubba Ho-Tep, and he was just so enthused, and he was talking very enthusiastically about the film. It's hard not to get enthusiastic about this film when you hear what it's about. This film is about hypothesizes a world wherein a 75-year-old Elvis is stuck in a East Texas rest home, where he is befriended by a man who believes he is John F. Kennedy, alive and well, played by Ozzie Davis, and the government dyed his skin black and hid him in a rest home. And the two unite to take on a mummy who is sucking the souls out of the residents' butts. When I heard what this film was about, when Campbell explained it, I was like, I need to see this movie. And so luckily enough, my city was one of the ones that did get the short theatrical run of this film. I saw it opening day to a pretty packed house, and I fell in love. Now, that love has tapered a little bit in recent years in that I think this film has a tremendous screenplay and tremendous performances that is weighed down by poor direction. Now, you could make an argument that this is a micro-budget feature. And while that is true, this is the same Don Coscarelli who rose to fame making the Phantasm pictures. And those are also pretty low-budget horror films, yet they have iconic imagery that stands to this day from the 70s. The Mirror Ball, the Thin Man, these are iconic figures of horror shot in low budget, yet this film has, again, very low budget, but like they couldn't even sell the beetle. There's like an insect scarab beetle thing in this film that doesn't look as good as some of like the animatronic or puppeted bugs from Buffy the Vampire Slayer's second season of that TV show. And that would have been 6 years prior to this on an even smaller budget because they were working with WBTV money. So I feel like it's the direction of this film, how it's shot. There's no energy to how this film is directed. That holds this film back from being as great as the screenplay and performances are. Would I recommend this film? Why or why not? Truthfully though, after me pooing on the film for that little tiny bit, this is a good movie that I absolutely recommend. This film, because of its extraordinarily strong screenplay, digs deep into things that you would not expect, such as ageism, how we treat age in our society, or how society treats aged people, people who have aged out of their own relevancy, even if they were once the king of music, of rock music, or a president of the United States. How we view these people as being sort of less than, just because they've attained an age where we can look at them as just being senile and they don't know what they're talking about. Yet they very much have their own agency and demand it so in this film. The film also has quite a few great one-liners, but it's the performances, particularly that of Bruce Campbell and Ossie Davis, that rise above and excel the feature. Campbell at first does what you would think is a very strong impression of Elvis. But as the film progresses, particularly towards the climax, he ceases to be giving a impression of Elvis, and you buy that this is Elvis. He becomes the character, and Campbell is a much better actor than a lot of people give him credit for, because they see the schlocky films that he tends to be in and dismiss him outright because of that. But he is genuinely a good actor, and this film kind of cements his qualities. I challenge you not to get emotionally invested in his performance, especially in the back half of this film. Ossie Davis is Ossie Davis. He's a tremendous actor, or he was, and he gives a very fine performance. In what could be a nothing role, he elevates it, man. And I mentioned before Brian Tyler. This is my favorite Brian Tyler score. He's done some good stuff. He did the score for Iron Man 3. He gets a lot of work nowadays. But he just did the recent Scream movie, if memory serves. But this is his strongest work. He's so good. Okay, I'm going to move on. Actually, there's one last thing I want to address. This is a micro-criticism. I understand why they did it, because this film is asking you to view people of a certain age in very real terms. But the film does a lot of a lot of lifting to get you to believe that this is truly Elvis, that he switched personas with an Elvis impersonator, and it was the Elvis impersonator that died. And so then Elvis is now stuck being this Elvis impersonator. But they go out of their way to really cement the fact that he is truly the real Elvis. However, I would have liked if that would have been left ambiguous. As I say, I would have liked, excuse me, I had a coughing fit there. I would have liked it if that would have been left ambiguous. Before they leave the JFK story left mostly ambiguous. That's my only criticism of the screenplay. Otherwise, I think this is a very strong, strong recommendation from me. Okay, which character were you most able to identify with or connect with, and in which way? The entire film is given to you through the POV of Elvis himself. So I guess the answer to that would be Elvis. He's a likable character, and you're given a lot of voiceover monologues and stuff, and he does great work with that. So, yeah, he's my answer. Best line or most memorable quote? Early on in the picture, there's a scene where his character is struggling with erectile dysfunction, and a lovely young woman bends over in front of him, and he has I'm going to paraphrase two quotes and kind of string them together, but they both just kill me, and I live with them every day. It's when that lady bent over and gave me a bird's eye view of her love nest, I felt my dick flutter like a pigeon having a heart attack. That lives with me every day. I laughed so hard when I saw that in the theater, and there's not a week that has gone by since 2003 that I've not thought about that quote. It is just so hilarious. Were you surprised by the ending, and what would you do differently? There's going to be spoilers, so I'm going to put my hand up, and when my hand goes back down, that's when spoilers are over. I'm going to do it with this hand. So, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. I was shocked that the film had the gall to kill both Elvis and JFK, as well as the Mummy. It makes for a striking and strong conclusion, and one that is emotional and heartfelt. A lot of the heavy lifting of that scene is done through the insanely strong performance of Campbell as well as the music by Brian Tyler, but it got me to choke up every single time I've watched it. It's a beautiful scene with the death of Elvis, and I loved it. So spoilers over, 3, 2, 1. That would be, so yes, I was surprised, genuinely I was. And what would I do differently? Nothing. Just give us a budget so that that battle could have been a little more, I don't know, have some kind of energy to it. Is the composer-musician-band group featured in the film one that you regularly listen to? Not regularly, but Elvis definitely has a couple songs that I really like and respond to. Can't Help Falling in Love is beautiful, like, romantic song, and there's a couple other ones of his that I respond to quite well. Though one of my favorite songs of his is actually covered by the Blues Brothers, and I like listening to that. Alright, moving on. What new information did I learn? This hypothesizes a fictional Elvis, so I learned a whole lot of new stuff, and nothing really about the true Elvis outside of how society kind of viewed him as like this larger-than-life figure. So much so that he can live beyond death into an East Texas rest home. Anything else I would like to add? Not so much. This is a good movie. Sorry about like various coughing fits I've had, or my voice is all shaky because of I'm a little under the weather. Yeah, nothing else I would like to add. If you get a chance, if this ever pops up on like Netflix or Hulu or any of the streamers, give it a watch. It is pretty entertaining. And ignore the micro budget, ignore the low budget horror quality. It looks, due to the poor direction, it looks like a sci-fi original, but I promise you the content of the film exceeds that ever so much. This is a film that I feel like would benefit from a remake, and you know, Campbell has aged into the part even more, so like you could literally just remake this script as is. Sadly you don't have Ossie Davis anymore, but you could get another actor to fulfill that role, and you'd have a very strong picture. If this just had a slightly bigger budget, or somebody who was confident with the material to elevate what they had with a micro budget. Alright, moving on. The Week 40 Challenge, a foreign film. Cool. I actually know exactly which one I got, because I got a foreign film from the Criterion Collection very recently for my birthday, so we're going to do that. So you'll get a Criterion Collection film coming to you next week. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Have you watched Bubba Ho-Tep? What did you think of it? It's so good. Bruce Campbell for the win. Thumbs up. Drop comments below, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Peace.